Good evening and welcome to another episode of Chip's Cabinet. Tonight we're going to be making potato casserole. I spent a couple days preparing this so I could put it together in about 6.5 short minutes for you. I just want to show you that I've prepped my prep area. I've cleaned everything up and I've lined up the ingredients. This is just a sample of what we're going to use tonight. We've got Yukon Gold potatoes, a pound of bacon, market ground beef, a bunch of vegetables. We got some mixed vegetables, coconut milk, cream of mushroom soup. I love these pigeon peas. I always have them in my cabinet. Some cream style corn, sweet peas, and I cheated a little bit on the seasonings. I just grabbed an Italian seasoning. We're going to put that all together and see what we got. And thanks again for joining us for another episode of Chip's Cabinet, where we take what we got and see what we can do with it. As I stated on my intro, I've spent a couple days preparing this dish. For example, these Yukon potatoes. I cleaned them, washed them, scrubbed them a couple days ago. Then I sliced them as thin as I could with a butcher's knife. I don't have one of those fancy juliennes or anything. I stuck them in the freezer until I was ready to do anything with them, and I'm ready to do something with them tonight to complete our video. The bacon I fried off earlier today, but I didn't fry it all the way through because it's going to cook some more. What I did was I just cooked it until the fat was mostly rendered off and it was gone. I drained it and put it in between some paper towels for a little while. And now it's going to become part of our casserole. Now, with regard to these other vegetables and whatnots that we're going to be introducing, you'll see those as we go step by step. And you'll notice over here I have started browning the ground beef. Now you want to brown it, don't cook it all the way because it's going to cook also in our casserole. And it's going to be inside our oven, which is preheating right now at 350. Once everything's together, we're going to cook that for about an hour to an hour and a half. This right here is sort of my own homemade guacamole. It's a one whole avocado, large avocado, cut up, eventually mashed. But what I did was, a couple days ago, I put this into a container. And I added avocado, lime juice, and a 1 can of Rotel. So I love Rotel to make sort of a guacamole. Now you can make your own Rotel with, jalapenos, diced tomatoes, onions, lime juice. I didn't have all that, but I did have a can of Rotel, so I used it as a shortcut. But I want to draw your attention to a trick that I learned back when I used to do prep at a restaurant. I took the avocado mix and I placed it in this container right here. And I left it alone for 3 days, but you'll notice the avocado didn't turn brown on me. This restaurant that I worked at, about a year, 2 years ago, they taught me that they made their own guacamole. So I'd make the guacamole. And what you do, you place it in a plastic container. You place some saran wrap over top of it, and then you water seal it by pouring water on top of the saran wrap. That way air can't get through no matter what to the avocado, and it'll stay good for a number of days. So that's the trick we're using right now to keep fresh avocado. And I also mashed it every couple days. You'll see there's still some slices in there, but it's okay because it's all going to cook together in the casserole. So the ground beef is sufficiently browned. I added 1 yellow onion, diced up. I had sauteed it in butter before I put it into the ground meat. I also added 2 tablespoons of garlic, also sauteed in butter before I added it to the meat. The next step is going to be putting all this together with our milk and our cream of mushroom soup, and then we'll stack our casserole together and cook it again for 1 to 1.5 hours at 350 degrees. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I did not have enough room in my mixing bowl to add the cream of mushroom soup, and I forgot to drain my ground meat. So what I decided to do was mix the cream of mushroom soup with the ground meat, cook it down a little bit until it gets a little thicker, and then I'll go ahead and put the casserole together. In the meantime, I'll set up my pans with the layers of potatoes so that I can start establishing the casserole. As you can see, I'm still cooking down the ground meat, and I figure since I already made a mistake, I may as well just add the bacon and let everything cook together for a little while before I put it in the casserole and blend the flavors. Also, over here I wanted to show you how I'm labeling my tins because I actually don't have a baking dish, but it's okay because I'm not really a cook. I'm just putting stuff together that's in my cabinet. So I've layered these potatoes in these tins, and then we're going to start making the casserole. There's going to be a roll of the homemade guacamole, a roll of this vegetable mixture with the condensed milk, followed by a roll of this, and that's going to be basically lather, rinse, repeat with cheese in between each layer. Cheese can be anything you want. I'm using a 3-blend taco cheese right now. It could be a Colby Jack, could be a sharp cheddar, could be anything you want. And we'll get started putting that together in just a little bit. So I have decided to use the ladle. This is an instrument I have never used on Chip's cabinet. I look forward to doing so as I create the layers of goodness that will become this casserole. It's looking like the way these tins are filling, it's going to be one layer of everything. So I may actually be able to make some additional casseroles. We'll see how it turns out. Here they are, my 3 casseroles. About to put them in the oven, cook them for about an hour to an hour and a half. I'll probably check them a little more often because this is not a baking dish, so they may cook a little quicker. I apologize if you saw my feet too much. I just noticed that when I was rewinding the video. We'll see if I have a mess and a dirty oven on my hand or a really good meal at the end of this project. Be right back. Well, there you have it. Cooking at 350 degrees for an hour to an hour and a half, maybe a little less. Everything's nice and cleaned up. I put everything away. Neat and tidy, clean as you go. That's what a friend of mine that was an executive chef said. So that's what I do. Well, that's all I have for the potato casserole. If you happen to do this recipe, please comment and let me know how it turned out for you. And as always, leave any suggestions as to how it could be done better. And also, as always, thank you for tuning in to another version of Chip's Cabinet, where we take what we have and see what we can do with it. Have a good day.